The first 40 years of life give us the text. The next 30 give us the commentary on it. Life swings like a pendulum backward and forward between pain and boredom. Wealth is like seawater. The more we drink, the thirstier we become, and the same is true of fame. All men want to live, but no one knows why he lives. Everything is beautiful only so long as it does not concern us. Arthur Schopenhauer was a German philosopher, one of the greatest pessimists in the history of philosophy, and one of the major thinkers of the 19th century and the modern era. His thought recovers some elements of the Enlightenment, the philosophy of Plato, Romanticism and Kantianism, fusing them with the suggestion exercised by Eastern doctrines. Life is like a soap bubble that we keep inflating as long as possible, but with the absolute certainty that it will burst. Man is the only animal that causes suffering to others for no other purpose than suffering itself. Schopenhauer interprets the human story with a fundamentally pessimistic attitude, as life appears completely devoid of meaning, yet he does not deny a hope, a possible liberation from pain. In fact, man seeks a liberation from the dominion of the will in art. There is only one innate error, and that is to believe that we exist to be happy. Happiness is like alms thrown to a beggar. It allows him to live today to prolong his pain tomorrow. Religions are like fireflies. They require darkness in order to shine. A certain degree of general ignorance is the condition of all religions. It is the only element in which they can live. Art is the disinterested contemplation of the world. The effect of music is so very much more powerful and penetrating than is that of the other arts, for these others speak only of the shadow, but music of the essence. If we were not all so interested in ourselves, life would be so uninteresting that none of us would be able to endure it. Life and dreams are pages of the same book. To read them in order is to live. To glance through them is to dream. Leaf after leaf we can scroll through our inner self and decide how we want to give meaning to our existence or prefer a more ordinary life, reading only the pages that describe reality. Human life swings like a pendulum between pain and boredom. When we strive to satisfy our desires, we experience pain and suffering. When our desires are satisfied, we slip into boredom. Every satisfaction is just the starting point of a new desire. Art is the disinterested contemplation of the world. No rose without a thorn, but many a thorn without a rose. According to Schopenhauer, what we perceive through our senses, objects, events, people, is not the ultimate reality, but only a phenomenal representation. It is as if we live behind a veil that prevents us from seeing the truth. According to him, there are some ways to partially lift the veil of Maya and see the true reality. This expression is coined by Arthur Schopenhauer in his The World as Will and Representation. The veil of Maya is still a powerful metaphor even in our time. If Schopenhauer saw the veil as the illusion of the senses and perception, today we can apply this idea to many areas of daily life. It is Maya, veil of deception, which blinds the eyes of mortals and makes them behold a world of which they cannot say either that it exists or that it does not exist. For she resembles sleep. She resembles the reflection of the sun on the sand, which the pilgrim from afar mistakes for water. How many times do we scroll through social media and see perfect lives, dream vacations, sculpted bodies, effortless success. But we all know this isn't reality. It's the digital veil of Maya. Just as Schopenhauer teaches us, behind these images lie insecurities, struggles, and failures. Lifting the veil of Maya here means remembering that what we see is just an appearance, not the truth. True reality is not the visible one, but something deeper and hidden. The will, a blind and irrational force that moves everything that exists. Will is the substance of the world. A crumb of will weighs more than 100 weight of judgment and persuasion. Advertisements are masters at making us want more. Buy this, and you'll be happy. But as soon as we get what we want, the desire shifts to something else. This is exactly what Schopenhauer describes. Desire is endless, and happiness is just an illusion. Lifting the veil of Maya here means realizing that happiness doesn't come from what we own, but from who we are. But the veil of Maya is not just a philosophical concept. Today we find it everywhere, from our smartphone screens to our search for success and happiness. And just as Schopenhauer invites us to see beyond appearances, we too can try to do so in our daily lives. None are much to be envied, countless are much to be pitied. He who has right intuitions in the midst of confused minds is like one who has a clock that works in a city, where all the bell towers have clocks that go wrong. He alone knows the exact time, but what good is that to him? Everyone regulates themselves according to the city clocks that show the wrong time. The task is not to see what no one has yet seen, but to think what no one has yet thought about what everyone sees. Man can do what he wills, but he cannot will what he wills. Genius and madness have something in common. Both live in a world that is different from that which exists for everyone else. So the problem is not so much to see what nobody has yet seen, as to think what nobody has yet thought concerning that which everybody sees. Being aware of what you feel inside yourself, without feeling wrong, is the fundamental step to being master of yourself. Only the light that one lights within oneself later shines for others as well. I know of no prayer more beautiful than the one that concluded the ancient theatrical performances of India. It says, "May all living beings be free from pain." In the face of fools and imbeciles, there is only one way to reveal one's intelligence, that of not talking to them. A sense of humor is the only divine quality in man. A high degree of intelligence tends to make a man unsocial. The person who writes for fools is always sure of a large audience. Nearly half of all our anguish and anxiety arises from our concern for the opinion of others. All truth passes through 3 stages. First, it is ridiculed. Second, it is violently opposed. Third, it is accepted as being self-evident. The philosopher should never forget that he is cultivating an art and not a science. According to Schopenhauer, tearing the veil of Maya means accessing a new dimension of life, no longer dominated by the illusions of phenomena, but founded on noumenal reality, free from false deceptions. But at this point, 2 spontaneous questions arise. Is man really capable of freeing himself from illusions? And above all, does he really want to tear this veil and face the truth? Schopenhauer's philosophy reminds us that we cannot escape pain, but we can learn to understand it. And you? What is the quote that struck you the most? Write it in the comments and share the video with those who need a little ancient wisdom. Thanks for watching.